remaining creatures, power gear, and accessories that are missing from the MOTU Origins line right now on Toy Habits Live. And before we go live, smash that like button, turn on notifications, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss a beat. Hey everyone, welcome back to Toy Habits. I'm Michael.
And I'm the Toy Sorceress, and you're watching Toy Habits Live. How's it going, Michael?
It's going really well. I had a really fun day today. I went to all the stores, Walmart and Target, you know, the usual places, but then I visited the vintage shop that's like maybe 25 minutes away from my house. And I usually just window shop there because the stuff is very expensive. How was your day?
It was good. It was good. Spent some time with some family, ran around, had some fun, had some good lunch.
Nice.
Took a picnic. It was a nice day. Got a little bit of packing done. So
were you able to do the RC cars, or was it too muddy?
You know, it looked like it was raining when we left for lunch, so we didn't bring them with us all in one car. And then as we were eating, everything cleared up and it was nice. And we were quite far from the house to go back and get them, so we ended up not being able to play with the RCs. We're like, Darren, why didn't we put them in the trunk? Like we all went in one car, so it's okay.
Junk in the trunk.
Yeah. Always fun. Good. But we have a fun topic today, running through creatures and accessory packs for the Origins line. But before we dive into that, we want to say hi to the chat because we have a lot of you out here and we want to say hello to everybody. So let's dive in. Neil Hunter Hyde is here, one of our crew members. We got Wookie Sasquatch, Chef M480, or sorry, M80. There's not a 4. My apologies. Too Bad Dad is here. Negative Sight is here. Todd Loves Toys, another crew member, is here. All Music Fan 88, good to see you. Giraffe, a huge shout out. One of our awesome crew members. You've been a member for 5 months. Congratulations. And I'm going to read your comment out. We may ignore, but we now evade the presence of Skytree. The world is crowded with him. He stands everywhere, googly-eyed incognito. Fugman 4 is here. Rob 2023, another one of our really new crew members. So welcome to you, Rob. Mr. Midgar is here. Norway Director is also in the house. And we got Stephen Kumarek. And big shout out to Toy Hunters Hollow. How are you doing? Cobweb Collector is also here. I know there's a lot more of you out there. So if you want to go ahead and say hello in the chat, by all means, please do. In the meantime, we're going to dive into our really fun topic, our speculation that we love to do here at Toy Habits. And we're going to take a look at the remaining creatures, which we haven't got that many, that are left in the Origins line. So let's dive in, and a big hello to Randall Guzik, who just joined us as well.
Yes, we will get into that. But before we get into the actual topip, I have a couple surprise boxes to open. And so if you recall, last I don't know, was it like a week or a week and a half ago? I was just running around on the internet just trying to find MOTU stuff and came across some MOTU listings on Best Buy. So they had Duplico listed, they had mini comic Manny faces, and all the like figures from this latest wave. So I was like, let me put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to order a box. And so it's time to open the box. Oh my gosh, it reminds you of that Saturday Night Live skit. I'm not going to say it on the air, but if you remember that Saturday Night Live skit that Justin Timberlake did when he was opening a box, I guess that's what that's what I'm doing right now. So I have not seen what is in this box that has not been opened. And so I don't know if I should mute my sound or not. If it gets too like crazy, just I don't know if you can mute me, but mute me.
All right, I could mute you if I need to. Okay. So this is Blind Box Saturday MOTU opening here, trying to see what in the world.
This is what I was afraid of. So I've been hearing
Best Buy has in store for you.
I was hearing that people were getting stuff that wasn't even listed on the thing. So Clawful wasn't even listed.
Clawful's cool if you didn't have them, but
yes, Clawful is cool. Horde Trooper, that's actually cool because he's an army builder, but still was not listed on the listing. Holy crap, another Horde Trooper.
Oh my god, they're army building for you.
I know, right?
They're like,
Anti-Attorney He-Man, which is cool, not an army builder, but I do have him. Still, none of which is listed on the site. Is this false advertising, Best Buy? Come on. Oh my gosh, and another Clawful. So
are you kidding me?
I was afraid this was going to happen because I got some DMs of people like I got a box of Sunmans, or I got a box of like somebody got like all Sunman.
Oh my god! You know where your Jupico is? Sitting right here in this box that never made it to J. Just kidding.
Oh, geez, yeah, it never made it.
I'm using it to prop up my
Mega J. All right, so that is that, and yeah, those figures will be going back because I don't need any of these because I have them and I don't army build the Horde Troopers. But man, Best Buy, you really screwed up this time. All right, so the second box that I have is it's actually an early birthday present from Soundtracks with Birdman, aka Daniel. And we become really good friends over the last couple years, and he is just the nicest, like most generous person. He remembers holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, and all that stuff. And he sent me a present, and I don't know if you're going to see me cry on the air, but I might. But again, I have no idea what's in this box. So he did order. I kind of know what's in the box, but I'm going to act surprised anyway. He did order it from Wheeljack's Lab, so that's I think I've known of Wheeljack's Lab for like 20 years, and I can't remember if I bought anything from him or not. But
I'm sure I have over the years.
I might have to mute myself. There, let me mute myself while I get the bubble wrap off.
There you go. Should I play some like cold music in the meantime while you're like doing that? I muted you. I'm sorry. Okay, there you go.
Oh, thanks. He got me the Sandit.
Oh my god, yes, I know. That's so awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I knew what it was, but that's so cool.
This is absolutely amazing. I never owned this thing, and I absolutely freaking love this. Thank you so much, Daniel. Oh my gosh.
So nice of Daniel.
This is so insane. I can't believe this is happening. Very cool.
That's awesome. That is so cool.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Very thoughtful. And this is something that I never owned and I never had. So this is absolutely amazing.
Vintage slime pit. Now you need to get some slime in there, and then maybe you can slime a few of those Best Buy figures you got.
Oh my gosh.
Because they could be sacrilege for it, right?
I know, right? Daniel, thank you again. Like this is absolutely amazing. This is such a surprise. I had no idea this was coming, and thank you again.
Yeah, that was super, super nice of Daniel. And he did ask my opinion before he bought it. And I said, yes, that you would absolutely love that. Daniel, you came up with a very great surprise and early birthday gift for Michael. Yeah, very cool. I also want to give a huge shout out and hello to Wrath Mace, who is now a brand new crew member to the Toy Habits crew. So welcome to the gang, and you will have a whole lot of fun being on the crew. Thanks so much for joining, Wrath Mace. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of the crew, we have not said hello to our crew yet. And so let us say hello to them. And I want to give a really special shout out to Neil Hunter Hyde, who is our latest crew member. So we had the lovely opportunity to meet him live on video chat, and he is just an amazing person, like all of the other people on the crew. Wraith, Mace, you are joining a good crew. So happy that you're joining.
Very happy to have all of these great people here, and I'm just flashing a couple more names that people joined a little later than the rest of the gang. So welcome everybody. And Michael, I guess since we're on the topic of just pulling stuff out, I know you got yours too, and my Skeleton Warriors from
Yay.
EV came today. I actually
Finally.
have a couple more coming from BBTS because I had a bunch of stuff in my pile of loot. So I shipped those out, and then and then this one at the same time started processing. So I figured, I guess I'm gonna have 6 of these guys, and it's fine because it'll make a really cool display in my new toy room. So can't wait to get these guys out. And Halloween is coming up. I'm just trying to charge them in my lights. Maybe we can try a little like glow in the dark thing at the end to see how they work.
Oh, awesome. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Awesome.
So can't wait to get those guys cracked open. And
sweet.
There'll be a lot of fun.
Totally will. All right.
Let's dive in.
We totally should. And we're actually going to start off with the power gear and accessories. And this was like such a blast from the past, just getting to look at these, because I like the only thing that I can recall is the weapons pack and none of this other stuff.
Oh, yeah. I actually have a couple of these.
No way.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah, so basically like power gear and accessories, like these power gear stuff, I think was Mattel's attempt to make just motorized toys for the figures. They were making motorized toys for the creatures and vehicles and things like that. But before we dive in, we have a treat for you out there that are viewing, and we want to take you back to the 80s and let Mattel introduce this trio of power gear.
Join the adventures of masters of the universe. From the black depths of the sea, Skeletor strikes with his scuba tech gear. But He-Man puts on tower tools.
You're too full, big breath.
Scuba tech, tower tools.
Next time, he's mine.
And Cliff Climber power gear. Help He-Man in his fight for Eternia with Masters of the Universe.
All right.
That is really cool.
I had so much fun digging up the commercials for this, and the commercials are not going to stop, y'all, tonight. But I don't recall ever seeing these anywhere, but I think they're really cool.
They're very cool. I actually don't own any of these three. These are three of the most rarest of all of the power gear accessories. Especially, I think the scuba attack is one of the most expensive if you try and buy one online now. And that one looks really cool. I think the photograph here he's missing his flippers, but yeah, these are awesome little accessories to pack onto your figures.
It's really cool because like when I was looking at these commercials, it really gives you like the scale of what is going on, and it kind of shows you how to put each accessory or power gear on the figure too. And it's like I miss those commercials because you never see them anymore.
No, I mean, we don't get to really see toy commercials at all anymore, and it's so fun to dig those up. And you actually found some that were in pretty good resolution, because most of the time when I look at those old toy commercials, they're really, really grainy. You can't make anything out. So wow. Too bad Dad has all three. Congratulations.
Oh, wow.
That is cool. Impressive. That really, really is impressive. So I love these. These are really neat. And the colors on them are very cool. I love how Clamp Champ looks with the yellow Cliff Climber gear. It's like just the colors on it like set him off really well. And then using Faker there with the scuba attack gear looks really cool too, with the orange and blue it's got on it. So somehow these color combinations work.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see them bring all of this stuff back. Like if they're gonna if they totally finish out the what they're calling the vintage MOTU Origins line, we could totally see stuff like these, little tower tools. And it's like, I guess the tech is like, so I mean, it's so 80s, but it's so cool.
It's so cool anyway. I know. That's what makes them really fun too, because they are so like 80s style. I mean, like look at the Cliff Climber. He's got like little like ice pick like things up for his feet. Yeah. Like if he was like climbing up a mountain and like kind of clacking onto like the icy cliff or something like that. That's awesome. So and then a little drill, right? Or a big drill for his arm to like drill into the side of the mountain. So that's really cool. And there's a winch on top, right? With like a string.
Yes. Yeah,
That's awesome.
it was fun seeing it like go down that string in the commercial.
Yeah.
But the tower tools is actually, I'm like getting a closer look at that. It's like
Uh-huh.
Zodak has the jaws of life on one hand, and he's
Yeah.
got like a digging tool on the other, and it's like who would have
I
thought to pair those together?
I would not have. I feel like they kind of took a couple like extra like Tonka pieces or something like that
Yeah,
off of some of those Tonka trucks and like kind of bashed them together and said, "Hey, here's another cool power pack kit or something like that."
that's hilarious. Giraffe thinks that they should make those as tiers for the Skytree playset.
Yeah,
Yes, Giraffe, that would be
that would be
awesome. And
awesome.
Giraffe, you still need to make your appearance in the hot tub, so we're still
Yes.
waiting.
We are still waiting. Absolutely, that is incredible. I love seeing these commercials because that took me way back. But these are a lot of fun. And let's take a look at the next set if you're ready to
Yes.
cue those up.
So these ones I don't have a commercial for, and I don't know if I
Mhm.
just was not looking in the right places, but
Mhm.
the Mega Laser, the Stilt Stalkers, and the Jet Sled, like 3 little mini accessories that
Yeah.
go well with the figures.
Yeah, and that jet sled right there, that's mine with my
Oh yeah,
He-Man on there. So
that's
I
awesome.
took that photograph actually
Yay.
for our shop page. So I do have that jet sled. It's a really cool accessory pack. He-Man has a blue chest armor. It's kind of hard to see because the top of the jet sled's blocking it, but it's a matching blue chest armor that goes on him, both pieces front and back. And what you can do is, if he's not riding it kind of like a jet ski, you can close the sled and then put it on his back, and then it looks like he has wings on him because it
that's
clips onto the
awesome.
back of the chest armor. It's really neat.
That would be really cool. Yeah, I totally
Mhm.
forgot that you had this. It's
Yeah.
probably sitting in a box somewhere now.
It's totally packed away. I don't know where it is right now. And I think I have the Stilt Stalkers, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe some pieces of it, because I like the colors on that thing.
Yeah.
But the Mega Laser, that's one that I have not seen around. It seems to be a fairly rare piece, and especially to find it complete with like a little eye, the little eye blaster or whatever.
That's so funny that they like just made that in plastic, and it's basically just like a plastic piece that goes over his face. It's like covering.
I know that one is pretty silly. But the other two are cool, and out of all of them, I love the jet sled, and that's probably why I tracked that one down. And it's not that expensive. I think I maybe paid like $40 for it,
Oh, that's
and it
not
was
bad.
in like nice condition. And these stay pretty well shaped because they can get pretty beat up. They're like very sturdy, sturdy little accessories. How they built these. But yeah, that's a really fun piece to have.
Yeah, jet sled goes great with Duplico. Too
You're
bad
right.
Dad says yes if you can
You're right.
find him. Best Buy did me wrong. I was expecting 5 Duplicos to show up in that box. So.
You know what? Duplico was out in the Best Buy distribution center duplicating all the things that were going in your box, and he gave you 2 Horde Troopers and 2 Clawfuls, and he was laughing as he packed it up.
Yes, that's hilarious. D Griff is building a Mega Construct jet sled right at this moment. D Griff, when you're done and finished with that, please send it to just DM us on our Instagram accounts. We would love to see it. Toy Habits website and the Toy Sorceress. So please let us know your progress. Let's see. Cora, the jet sled is the only one of those I've ever seen in person. That's awesome because I've seen 0 of these in person.
I wish I could just like pull it out and be like, oh, this is what it looks like. But it's still.
Well, you're the Toy Sorceress, so you were expecting you to conjure it up right now.
I could have, but I have absolutely no idea where it is at the moment.
Oh, I know. All right, so I'm gonna let Mattel queue up this next set because it's actually really cool if you actually take a look at the technology that they were dealing with in the 80s. So let's roll it.
Now Skeletor charges into battle with awesome artillery.
Nothing can stop it!
Nothing except Beam Blaster. It actually fires a light beam to stop artillery.
Give up, He-Man! Fire!
And drops Skeletor, but only with a bullseye to the evil eye. Figures sold separately. You supply the batteries.
I have the power.
New Artillery Beam Blaster set. The first light-action weapons ever from the Masters of the Universe.
So the first light action weapons ever from the Masters of the Universe. I don't know if this like ever in history of toys or just for Mattel, but I was thinking, so I threw in a shot of Captain Power down there because that's also made by Mattel. So maybe these, they were kind of testing out this technology for the Captain Power show. But
I actually own that Captain Power playset, that little
You do?
blaster light set. Yes, it's in the box. I have never opened it. It's very cool looking. And it has that light, that kind of laser tag light.
Flashlight.
It's really cool. Yeah. It's the only Captain Power piece I have, but the box is beautiful. It's got great artwork, and he has that little set that lights up on his chest and like shoots out. But this is really cool because it's like a mini laser tag set for your freaking MOTU figures. Like, how rad is that?
That's insane. And I think these came out in 87. And I think like most of us probably here in this chat might have been out of either playing with MOTU at that time. I know I was, and it's probably why I didn't see any of this stuff, but it's a really simple design, but it has a lot of play value. And like for a kid in the 80s, like that's absolutely insane. I mean, the only time that I've interacted with a light laser thing was that Captain Power spaceship, and I was like religiously watching the show. I'd like tape it, and it's so fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, I used to love Captain Power when I was a kid, and I had several of their figures. But yeah, that totally takes me back. And that light action, laser tag type special effects or whatever was a totally like 80s type of technology. And it's so neat that they incorporated it into one of these little like blaster effects, which I absolutely love. I want to give a big shout out to the Baroness of Toys, who is just joining us. And sorry, Mimi, I forgot to tell you we were on at this hour. So hi, Baroness. I should have reminded you. But it's okay. You didn't miss much.
The Baroness is supposed to be
really
like
cool
up on all the communications, right? For Cobra, and so she should know this.
Absolutely. Like, I guess Destro dropped the ball and didn't give her a heads up.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like if you think about it, I don't know, like if we had the LCD screens that we had back in the 80s, like that we have now back in the 80s, I don't even think that technology would be possible because they engineered it through the CRT screens, right?
Yeah, and that's
like
a bummer. Like I don't have any more CRT screens, and I would love to use some of this stuff on it, like you have for like your Nintendo. If you had, like Duck Hunt or Wild Gunman or any of those games, which I still own, and I have nowhere to play them. So it's a bummer. Like sometimes I feel like I want to buy a CRT just so I can play with that stuff.
Buy a small one.
Yeah, I should. Maybe like I'll find it at a garage sale or something.
Yeah, I mean, people give them away for free anyway. So.
Oh, absolutely, because they just take up way too much space. Big hello to also Allison Troy, the Retro Toy Princess, who just joined us, and Pink Panther. The Pink Panther is here, guys.
Ooh.
Where's Inspector Clouseau? He's coming after you. And we want to give a big shout out to D. Griff, who just became a brand new Toy Habits crew member. Welcome to the crew, D. Griff. You're in great company. Awesome to see you, and thanks for joining the crew. So this is these little accessory packs were very cool. I love them.
Totally. Yeah, D. Griff, please send over your mega customs. We'd love to see them too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Now you got a direct line. All right. So I think the only thing that I remember from this whole set that we're looking at are the weapons packs. And this is basically how I do have a vintage Wondar, and this is how he got his black armor, because if you remember in the 80s, Mattel sent out a really confusing naked He-Man and called him Wondar. And so I guess
Michael is flexing for everybody because this is like the most incredible piece he has in his collection. He goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, here, just whip out your vintage Wondar."
By the way,
but that is super cool.
But yeah, it's actually the armor goes really well with Wondar, and then with Mossman having the Beastman yellow armor packed in him, it's so cool because this is basically what came in the weapons pack in the 80s.
Yeah. I mean, it's really awesome that they made this. I do have many if not all of these pieces, I guess. I don't have the card back for it, but I've got all of the loose accessories. So this is a classic one. It's not that hard to obtain. It's not even that expensive if you try and buy it, on its hardback. It's hard to find one in great shape. But yeah, this is definitely a classic set. And I absolutely love like the teal colored sword and axe. And that's how I display my battle armor He-Man, because he looks really
nice.
cool with it. So I love, using that on there. And yes, the Baroness is totally jelly over your Wundar because he is very rad.
It's funny. So I don't hide my background when I'm at my day job, and the number one thing that people ask me is, "What's the most expensive thing on your wall?" And it's Wundar. But it is not the most precious thing on the wall. The most precious thing on the wall is my vintage Whiplash, because that is the one of two figures that I still have from like leftover when I was a kid. Everything else was garage sale. So very different.
That's always like the childhood survivors.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's my my superpowers Aquaman that I always tell the story.
Oh right.
The trident. And if you guys haven't heard it, it's real quick. When I was a real young kid, my mom bought me the superpowers Aquaman for Hanukkah. I took him to school the next day. I was so excited. I had his little trident in his hand, and in my haste, I somehow lost it in class, and I was looking furiously for it, and I realized I looked all the way across the room, and there was a kid with Aquaman's trident picking his teeth with it. And I look over and I'm like, that's not a freaking toothpick, And me being like wanting to keep my toys pristine, like seeing this kid picking his teeth with Aquaman's trident. I still have that trident. I still have that Aquaman, and that memory will stay with me forever.
That's hilarious.
And it was, I think, my first action figure that I got as a kid. So it's super special, and I still own him.
Oh, that's so cool. But even with teeth marks and all, huh?
Teeth marks and all. I ended up replacing his trident. I do still have that one because it eventually dried out, kind of broke in half. But he does have a replacement trident for his display.
That is a great story. Pop Actor Origin should release this, but no Beastman armor or Zodak. I'm thinking he said Zodak. Black armor replaced with Grayskull, small axes, and guns. Yes, I mean they already have all this stuff made, and like this would be like printing money for them, because I think people would buy this just for the pure nostalgia of it.
Totally. They've got all this stuff done. Like all of these weapons already exist in the Origins line. It would be so easy for them to re-release this in a really cool weapons pack. Shocked that they haven't done it already after 3 years of
I know, right?
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, it's been a while. Yes, MOTU. Yes, most precious. Yeah, is the most valuable. So, yes, very greater than the most valuable. I agree. Oh, poor chef.
I know it's hard. Like I only have a few childhood survivors, and those always.
Dude, check this out. Randall, he saw his entire childhood superpowers collection. So actually, Randall, I want to give a huge shout out to you, just because like you were Johnny on the spot with just sending us stuff, whether it's Masters of the Universe, superpower stuff. It's really appreciated. And like we've said before, we're all stronger together as a community. So thank you.
Absolutely. And just since we're on the subject of superpowers, Wave 5 has hit for pre-order. If you like superpowers, the new McFarlane figures are in pre-order on Entertainment Earth and Amazon. If you go to toyhabits.com, we've got an article right there on the front page with all the links to order the brand new figures. And if you guys are a Batman 89 fan, there is a black suit Batman with the yellow belt as part of that wave, which is really, really cool. And that's going to be a fan favorite, as well as Batman's helicopter, the Worldly Bat, which is really, really awesome. And we are going to actually be discussing that tomorrow with Jay on Geek Dad Life, where I will be co-hosting and sitting in for John. So we'll be talking superpowers tomorrow night. And I think Dole is going to jump in and join that conversation. So don't miss it too. That'll be a lot of fun.
You are the expert on superpowers. So
I am. I still have my entire collection of vintage superpowers figures and the Hall of Justice and some other stuff. So just love them. Baroness is missing her childhood Green Lantern and had to replace it with an eBay purchase. Oh man, did I get the layer? Are you talking about the cat's layer? I actually did. Yes, I did order that finally. Thank you all who contributed to the awesome crowd fund that Daniel, Birdman, put together for us. That was a huge help, especially now with my huge financial commitment that I'm making. So that really helped,
The
and it
minor
will be
one,
the
right?
centerpiece of my new toy room when it arrives next year. So I can't wait for that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I actually backed the Cat's Lair too. I wasn't planning on it, but I got swept up in all of the excitement when that key was,
Yeah.
that early bird deadline was hitting, and so
You didn't
I
want us all to like lord it over you and be like, you
that,
didn't get a
I know,
key, and we're
yeah,
cooler
I
than
know.
you are. I know.
But I did actually back the ghost today officially. So
Oh, well, congratulations.
thank
That's
you.
awesome. I gotta
Congratulations, you
figure out
just
where
spent
it's all
another
gonna go.
$500. I
Oh,
love it.
yeah, yeah. That
But yeah,
is
I
freaking
knew
cool.
I had FOMO, and that vintage shop that I went to, they had a HasLab Jabba sail barge in there, and I was like,
What?
really? You're so tempting me,
It's
but
probably
it's way
a
too much.
mint, right?
Yeah, I think it's like $3,000 if you want to get
Oh
one
my
now. I was like
God. Wow.
totally missed out on one. I don't think I wasn't collecting Star Wars again for like the 5th time, but anyway.
But that thing is like really long, right? It takes
Yes,
a I guess
it's
it's
like
not
3
super
feet
deep,
long or something.
so yeah. Yeah.
Yes, wonder Silver K would have something to say about that.
I
All
know I
right,
was waiting for her to chime in. She's not in the chat.
and
Yes.
while we're on that topic of carrying cases, both large and small, these were also things that I never saw, but it's so funny because they have the carrying case, which looks like it could hold what, like 4 figures, and then the large
Yes.
carrying case maybe could hold 8 or something or more, but I don't know.
So I actually own both these carrying cases.
Oh
One of these
wow.
might be my photos. I threw like the plastic trays are usually get really beat up because they're super thin plastic. So I think I just
Oh,
tossed them. You can fit like a bunch of figures if you don't put the plastic tray in there. Like at least a dozen of them kind of piled up on top of each other. And the large carrying case, you can slide out that little shelf in the middle, which I did do. And I've got all of my vintage vehicles in there and little
oh,
creatures and stuff. So it's the large case. It's huge. It's
is
about
it pretty big?
yay big, and that's where I carry all of my vintage like smaller vehicles and stuff. So it's
That's
very
cool.
useful, and it's got an awesome interior because it was set up so that you can use it as like a little mini playset with that shelf and the background
Yeah.
insert in there. And the artwork on both of these is great. I actually own, I think, like 4 of the red carrying cases because I have
Oh, neat.
vintage figures in one, like Super 7 figures in the other. I think some extra origins in the third, or maybe like 2 of them have extra origins figures. So these are great, and they're not that expensive. They're fairly easy to come by. So if you want to have somewhere to store your MOTU figures, new or old, these are great.
Those are cool. Yeah, I think that large carrying case reminds me of what they did with I think it was the PowerCon 2021 exclusive
That's
Lords of
exactly
Power
where it
set.
came
It
from.
was same like octagon
Mhm.
and like scene, right?
Yep.
Not
Yep. And it's
octagon, but
that
it
kind
was
of
maybe
artwork
purple.
on it. I think that's
Yeah.
like, it's a kind of a blend of a Lords of Power Beastman, very
Yeah,
early style, but the artwork looks fantastic. So you can get these
that's so cool.
easily, like the small red carrying case for probably like $25 on eBay. It's not that hard to
Oh,
come by.
so
So
Wookie
if you like
Sasquatch,
them, go for
you can get it for a reasonable price then.
it. Mhm. That's why
It's
I
so
have
funny.
4 of them.
I didn't realize you had 4 of them. It's like, but
They're
it's
not
like
that big. They're
I think
yay big. I know.
I think I say this every stream. It's like you mention something, you will have it most likely.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I think again those are probably my photographs that you have there
Yeah.
of my carrying cases. I think that we well maybe one of them isn't, but I think the front pictures are because we use these on our website. So the 2 at the bottom are mine.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so that wraps up the power gear and accessories, and so we're going to move on to the creatures, which is my favorite part of this. And it was fun just pulling some of this stuff together and just like
Mhm.
looking at the stuff again. Like I didn't see a lot of this stuff in the stores, and so they're really cool. But again, before we dive into the discussion, um, so this next creatures, plural, I think they came out in '87 again when
Mhm.
most of us were probably not collecting MOTU, but I'm going to let Mattel introduce these guys and we will talk about
Now, He-Man unleashes the Meteorbs. Transforming creatures with prehistoric features. Heroic Meteorbs, each sold separately. New from MOTU.
Not so fast, He-Man. My Meteorbs transform into evil beasts.
Meteorbs, new from the Masters of the Universe. Watch the battle unfold.
Okay.
So funny.
Transforming creatures with prehistoric features. You gotta love that tagline
I
in there.
know.
They don't make commercials like this, and I had so much fun like just looking at these and recording these. I was like, I want
Yeah.
more.
I know, and it's funny. Like if you look at the toys by themselves, like in isolation, you forget that they were part of the MOTU line.
Yeah,
It's like, oh yeah, those are vintage Master of the Universe figures or toys.
Yep.
So yeah, because they're so kind of out of left field, especially when you start looking at some of them. Like there's tigers and gorillas and all sorts of a crocodile, all sorts
I
of
know. Yeah,
weird animals in there.
they're
Oh
crazy.
my
Like,
God.
was this Mattel's attempt at capturing like the Transformers market, or just getting a piece of it with just having transforming creatures? I don't
I
know.
know, I know. And Danny Phillips says that they remind him of the McDonald's toys. Do you guys remember the transforming Happy Meals that was like the little chicken McNuggets, like the French fry, the burger, and I think like the soft drink, and they transform just like a little bit into a little robot? That's
Yeah,
absolutely what they look like. And the Baroness says they put her in the mood for Cadbury eggs.
that's
Absolutely.
hilarious.
That is like so funny.
That's awesome. And Pop Actor is never afraid to give his opinion, which I love. Sorry, I do not like those. It's beyond silly. I agree with you. Like these
They are
are
silly.
these are beyond silly, and
Mhm.
like as far as just bringing them back for nostalgia purposes, like that would be the only thing that I would want. Like I
Yeah.
really don't care for these guys.
I don't either. I mean, if they wanted to do some silly kind of like Mattel Creations, like pack with like, a bunch of the little animals in it or something and put it like in some neat packaging for nostalgia. Um, I don't know if I would pick them up, but that would be cute. If they want
Yeah,
to be completists to finish off
yeah,
the line.
yeah. Hega says, uh, to me, these never felt like part of
Mm,
MOTU. I agree,
no.
and I think like with the prehistoric and the prehistory lines that they're throwing in there, I think they were setting
Mhm.
these up to belong in the Powers of Grayskull, which never happened. Cry, cry, cry. But
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I know that's the sad part. But yeah, they were just trying to cash in on the transforming craze of the late '80s,
but
and
I do have to say these are the only things that I could transform along with Stondar and Rock On. So they do speak to me from that. So they're not super difficult. It's like the little mini bots transformers. Yeah, there you go.
2
It's
seconds. He's done. He's a
easy.
rock.
Yeah,
Easy peasy.
like Rob 2023, just he's mostly he has a lot of transformers, and so I think
Yeah.
he's secretly trying to get us to cover
I
transformers, but we're going to cover transforming MOTU figures.
I just, I do have a few Transformers just because they're kind of classic '80s toys, but I am horrible at transforming them. And the new ones, the GI Joe crossovers, I probably transformed once and just did not feel like putting it back. So I left them, I think, in vehicle form, and I was like, I'm done. I'm not going to touch
Yeah,
it after that. You know,
yeah.
because they're very complicated. I've never been good at it, but Stone Dare is really easy.
Yes, but Danny is also a wealth of information too. He's often DMing me things on Instagram that we'll talk about in our live stream, and he's like, "Oh, hey, here's another picture of the Whispering Woods or the prototype for the Whispering Woods." So I love that. So yes, some of these were in the Filmation She-Ra cartoon. Yes,
Mhm.
so I guess they found a way to weave them back in since they
Mhm.
couldn't be from the Powers of Grayskull. But anyway.
Absolutely.
It's fun.
Wookie says back in the day, I thought these looked like Happy Meal toys. I think every
and you have McDonald's toys too, right?
Yeah. And the Baroness agrees with us that her his tank is going to stay in vehicle mode forever. I fully agree. Broke 100 in the chat. And by the way, just reminding all of you, if you haven't hit that like button, please go ahead and do so, because we don't have Silver Kate in the chat tonight to tell us to smack that like, y'all. So I'm gonna fill in for her and remind you to smack that like.
Awesome. All right. So so the next thing we're going to queue up, we're still going to be staying in 1987. And this is a commercial that I've never ever seen before, so it was really fun to put this one together. So here they are.
Man in a time warp.
Where am I?
Ancient pre-Eternia, lost land of the dinosaurs. Thunderous Tyrannosaurus Rex battles mighty Bionatops, ferocious dinosaurs.
Take this, He-Man.
How can He-Man survive? New from the Masters of the Universe, figures Bionatops, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and Turbodactyl each so separately. Can He-Man escape the past and them?
I can't figure out what they're trying to say at the end of that. But I was like, wow. Like, just like seeing those toys and seeing them being played with on the screen is really cool, because again, like, this line never, basically it was dead before it hit the ground. Like, a few of these got released, yes, but it was really neat because I totally don't remember that at all.
I know that that was so cool. I totally need one of these T-Rexes. Like this, I want myself a purple dino. I really need him. Like, that looked like so much fun.
Yeah.
I know. I had such a blast watching that just now. Like, absolutely. Like, yes, back in the day, kids actually played with toys.
Yes.
All Music fan again giving us his opinions. He can't stand these, but that's okay. They're not for everyone. But I think these are great. I think these are super cool.
We've talked about the dinos, I think, probably in like the last 4 or 5 streams, but
we have.
I think these would still be cool for Mattel to create. I think we're lobbying for them to create the Powers of Grayskull line, and they would be stupid not to.
I know, they would be a huge hit. And another nice like kind of subline, or they did such an all-in type of thing with the Snake Man, the Rise of the Snake Man. Well, now we need the Powers of Grayskull. So I know, Mattel, that you're going in on the cartoon collection and the Filmation line for retail. That's great, but give us some Powers of Grayskull on Mattel Creations, and I will be forever grateful. And I think they will sell like hotcakes.
Yes,
Barney's uncle. It is. He's the grouchy uncle that you don't want to bother because he's got some sharp teeth.
He's the OG Barney.
He is the OG Barney. I know. But the colors on that dinosaur are like really cool, like super bright. And the little projectile he has looks like lots of fun. And Bionatops is like really, really cool because you can have your figure like right on top of him. And remember, I told you last week, I loved like the back of his art on his box.
Yeah.
Super cute. He looked like really like he was smiling, like so happy to have He-Man riding on his back.
Yeah. But so Wookie Sasquatch asks a good question. So what's the story behind these? Are they cyborg dinosaurs, robot dinosaurs? How do dinosaurs have opening bellies with weapons? And I think this is what the Masters of the Universe line did. They mixed in technology with sorcery and people and creatures. And I think that Zoar, Screech, Battlecat, and Panther are, I think, the only creatures that are not either artillery or cybernetically enhanced. And so I think,
because remember, Stridor and Night Stalker both are. And we already know Night Stalker is coming in line too. But you're absolutely right about that. And
it was funny. It was funny thinking about, like, how do you delineate a creature versus a vehicle, right? Because some of these creatures are vehicles. So it's just
absolutely. I know. Because they were very creature-like, and we were kind of like, we were trying to divide this up, and some of them were a little bit questionable. But Halen Dredd says that he thinks that the Powers of Grayskull are coming to retail after the cartoon collection.
See, that would be smart.
True. Yeah.
That would be smart because they probably not going to go as deep in the cartoon collection than they might just the whole Origins line. And so I think mixing up the cartoon collection and maybe interweaving the Powers of Grayskull could be a great thing to do, or just make the freaking pop line already. Right?
I know. Come on. Like they have a long runway left, right? We have a lot of space for a lot of things. And Hega, be patient because Mantisaur is coming. We will talk about him. And Baroness, you're absolutely right. I always thought about that on Bionatops. Like, he needs a saddle. It's like, isn't He-Man just going to slide right off his back?
Yeah. So these are interesting because these are actually really expensive, and I don't think they were this expensive a few years ago when I was looking at them. But if you want a complete one, you're going to pay about $300 on eBay. For Turbodactyl is about $250 complete, and Bionatops is about $250 as well. So it's like you're looking at you're looking at Cat's Lair prices if you want to get all these.
Oh my gosh. I mean, some of the really more rare vintage figures are about that much too. If you get like a complete Scareglow, which I did obtain earlier this year, he was close to and I got a deal on him. He was about what Bionatops costs. So some of the figures are even going for the 3 figures.
That's
but
crazy.
That's the story with vintage toys in Mondays.
Yes, and then I think we talked about this on the stream with Mega J when Mattel announced their Fans Choice crowdfunding poll, and so Gigantosaurus would be amazing. And just like looking at the scale of this thing, it's absolutely massive. And I think Jay was the one who pointed out it's like this thing can swallow a figure and basically get it down its throat and out of its belly.
Absolutely. You can shove the figure in there and then it goes sliding down and pops out of the little trap door. And how cool is it that you can have like He-Man pop out with a little laser from his belly? This thing is probably just as tall as one of these kids when he's up on his hind legs.
Yes.
It's huge.
That's nuts. Again, Baroness, again with the belly action. They had something with bellies.
I know they did. Maybe just because there was like room and they're like, what do we do with the dinosaur? We're gonna start using some trap doors in these things to do stuff, and his belly was where they had space.
Right. And Danny, I think the main shipment of this stuff was in Europe, and it's funny because the commercial is it's like an American commercial, so maybe they were gearing up for it, and then it got the axe and just never came to the US. So, but this one was never produced, and so I think we said it a couple days ago. This would make a great crowdfunding project, and maybe just bring all 4 of these guys as unlocks in a set or something.
Absolutely. And just a little history lesson that the Powers of Grayskull came out at the very tail end of the line, which we all know, and because interest in MOTU was dying at the time, the US markets were starting to put the figures on clearance because they weren't getting the right variety. Like the pegs were getting full of like Buzz Off and like I forget which other figures. So the line started to die. And when they came out with the Powers of Grayskull line, US retailers did not want to buy them anymore, but it was still popular in Europe. And so that's why they took those Powers of Grayskull figures and especially the 2 giants and shipped them off. And that's why you can find the giants a little bit more available, like let's say in Italy, because I think Italy was a really strong MOTU community, and they were still interested in purchasing those toys. So they all went overseas, and so that's why they're super rare to find. But this would be really cool. And look how big the 2 giants are, even compared to the dino. And these are like 16 inches tall, so that's big.
Chef M80, after the failure of the gate, I doubt Mattel would give us the option to vote for a MOTU dino. It's funny. I was talking about the gate with the person who owns that vintage shop that I went to today, and he was he had the same thought. It's like, don't make the gate the main attraction, make it an accessory. It's like you got to have something a little meatier than that one. MOTU D, we love you and thank you for that. That's very nice.
Absolutely. But when they make one of the tiers of the fence, that was like a really lame. It should just come with a damn fence. Like,
right.
Why is
so
it
yes,
like a unlock?
We're getting Eternia. Wookie Sasquatch said they should give us the gates of Eternia, right?
Yeah.
Make that a crowdfund. That's their next big project that they're dropping on the 5th. Sorry, spoiler alert. Just kidding.
I hope we get something powers of Grayskull. I've been like shouting from the rooftops about this for a very long time. We all know how I feel about that. But that's awesome.
Oh, and Cora, who is actually in Europe, in Germany. The one time I saw Megator in Germany on eBay, he was 2,000 euros. They're not, they're not common over there.
They're very expensive. They're very expensive. And, did you happen to see the two boxed giants, Megator and Titus, at PowerCon? I know we were both there 3 years ago. They actually had a set. Two giants on display at one of the vendors, and I was like, wow.
I think so, and I probably have a video of some, because I did like a toy hunt video through there too.
Yeah.
So
all you could do is like drool at it and then keep walking because you were like, fortune. Yeah,
totally. All right, the next one I am also going to let Mattel introduce, and up next we have our first army building transporting carrying case. So let's watch.
New from the Masters of the Universe collection.
To the battle bones!
The collector case that carries more than warriors, more than weapons. Your parents put it together.
To battle!
Battle Bones can also help you carry on the struggle. The struggle for...
all the power in the universe!
The Battle Bones Collector Carry Case from Mattel. Each toy sold separately.
Okay, so Battle Bones, which was teased on card art. I didn't make this connection, but like it would have never occurred to me as a kid to get two of these, one for the good guys and one for the bad guys.
I know, right? Because like if you were lucky enough just to get the one. Yeah, I know. And it's really cool that his mouth opened up to carry all his accessories.
Yes. And you know who actually, was this for my last birthday or for Hanukkah or something? The Birdman soundtracks with Birdman Daniel got me a vintage Battle Bones. I was like,
wow, that's
holy
awesome.
crap. Yeah.
Wow.
So thank you again.
Cool. Was all his bones intact? Because as Baroness says, he should be called Brittle Bones because he needs more calcium. Because he seemed to break
I think there was one thing that was busted off, but it still looks good though.
Oh, that's awesome. Is he in pretty nice like white condition, or is he yellow?
He looks like bone white, and I mean it's a tiny bit yellowed, but it's not super noticeable. But
that's great. That's great.
It was very, very nice of Mr. Daniel, the Bird soundtracks with Birdman.
Super nice of him. He always comes up with the coolest birthday gifts.
Did you notice in the commercial, like, did Mattel like not have anybody to pay for lighting, and the kid was with a flashlight doing?
No, I actually didn't pay attention to that. That's
hilarious.
I didn't.
But you know what they should do is like a "Where Are They Now?" Like the kids who appeared in those Masters of the Universe. Like I don't know, like they're probably. I mean, they were our age when they were doing these commercials, right? So maybe they're watching the channel or in the chat. Who knows?
If you were in one of these vintage commercials as a kid, let us know because we'd love to hear from you. That was awesome.
All music fan, the pegs on the originals would break all the time. Yeah, so it's kind of building off of the Baroness's brittle bones. I like that.
He didn't have enough calcium growing up, so
no,
you know.
Would you actually get this if they re-release this one?
Oh, absolutely. I've always wanted to get one of these. It's just this is actually one I don't have in my collection because I do have quite a complete collection.
I have something you don't.
I don't have this, and I would love to get one of these. I just never got around to buying them.
That's hilarious. Oh my god.
Battle Bones. Listen to the Baroness. Milk does do a body good.
Do you remember some of those crazy milk commercials where this just popped in my head? Like somebody was like trying to pick up a crate and then like their arms literally busted off and like their arms like stuck in the box. And I was like, and I think it was one of the Got Milk commercials or something.
Oh my god, that would kind of creep me out as a kid.
It's crazy.
You know what's funny though, thinking about like the kids that did commercials and then looking at when they were older, there's actually a Toys R Us commercial with the kids from the 80s that were like, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. And then it flashes to them like in their 20s and then singing like the second half of the lyric. And there's like 3 or 4 of them Some of them grew up to be actors that you would see on shows now, but it's hilarious to see them in that commercial. I should dig it up one day, but that's a lot of
Oh my
fun
gosh,
seeing
you
them as
totally
a kid
should.
and then growing up.
Totally is. Pop actor was the kid with the flashlight, frowny face. All right, so we do have one in the chat
Aw.
who was in those commercials.
That is super cool.
He's like, should I say this or not?
I know, right? Fear is a great motivator. Run to get some milk.
Hega, will you guys be walking around your house with Origins Battle Bones once it gets released? I mean, we won't go to our friend's house or play, so we need to use it somehow. Yes, I plan to go visit the Toy Sorceress down in Southern California, and we are going to play Masters of the Universe.
Yes, we
So
are.
there.
And then you gotta bring some eels and torpedo. We'll play in the swimming pool too.
Yeah, there we go.
That would be awesome. Did you know? Is this really true? Solar Waka. Cameron was in one of the MOTU commercials. I would love to see that. That's hilarious.
Somebody Google that and tell us.
Yeah, I know. I totally want to see that. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, this would be cool. And yes, Ramen Toy is attempting to make this. I'm not sure what the status of this project is, but we did see it at PowerCon. But hopefully Mattel will make it, because I think it's been teased a couple times, and so we're really kind of lacking in the creature department and also the vehicles department for the Origins line.
Yeah, we got him at least 2 or 3 times already on different card backs. So
yeah,
they probably have him in the works, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I know the representative from Mattel said that nothing is off the table in terms of vintage accessories, places, creatures, etc. So we could very well see Battle Bones coming maybe next year.
That would be fun. All right. All right. So our next creature features a smorgasbord of Horde toys. So like, this is actually a really cool commercial because it has so many things in it. So let's check it out.
From the hideous corridors of the Fright Zone come Hordak's agents of evil. Dragstore, part evil warrior, part deadly vehicle, the demon of speed. Multibot multiplies and retakes 22 movable parts, making for multiple terror. Horde Trooper, the mindless robotic enforcer, he's cracking up. Mantisaur, the gruesome insectoid steed. Hordak rides him through anything. You can complete your evil horde with this gang of destruction, each sold separately. And remember, you can get King Randor free when you buy any 3 Masters of the Universe figures.
Oh my gosh, they have your bestie King Randor for free when you buy 3 figures. Totally forgot.
I cannot believe that. And I looked down for a minute, so I totally missed it because I was trying to find that commercial while you were playing it. I'll have to watch it on the rewind. I apologize.
That's all right. I'll slack it to you. It's fine.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, so the Mantisaur is one of those like cybernetically enhanced, it's bigger than a figure, so, but it also has a gun mounted on it too. So
yeah, I really like this one. I love the colors on the Mantisaur because he totally matches with Hordak. The grays with the red and the black. He just looks like so cool, and he's got like a little tiny saddle on his back for Hordak to ride on. So this one's a lot of fun, and I actually don't own this figure. It's another one I have on my to-do list to pick up someday, and want to give a big shout out to Raph Mace for the $2 super chat. Heading out, having a relaxing Labor Day weekend, folks. Thanks so much, and thank you for joining the crew again. Welcome. That's awesome. Thanks for the super chat. So do you own this one, Michael?
No, he did not come in the. So I bought I bought a huge, usually what I do is I buy collections and then part them out. And usually I make out in the long run, but you have to put out a shit ton of money
I know.
for that initial investment. But no, I do not have this one. And it's really cool. We need these guys.
We absolutely, and this one would be pretty easy to make. He's not that big. We already have like a whole bunch of Hordaks in our Origins line, so it would be so cool for him to have a ride. Him and She-Ra are walking around on their feet or having to take an Uber around Eternia and Etheria, and they have nowhere to ride around on. So we need Mantisaur and we need Swiftwind.
Yeah, we totally do. Yeah, this one, I mean, it's really not a lot of plastic, and it's an iconic piece. and
Totally.
it would be really neat. And like one of the things that I love about these commercials is you get to see the figures in scale with against also just little kids too, so you kind of get a better sense of how big they are. And these ones
I
are really,
know.
they're not that big.
No, they're not. And I mean, it's also a lot of fun to see like the kind of like the joy and the wonder and the childlike innocence, playing with the figure, because it takes you back to when you were a kid. I know, we look at these, we display them, we have them on our shelf, or just mess with them on your desk or whatever. But it's fun to see like the child's imagination in these commercials.
Yes.
So that's
Pop Actor's imagination is running wild with a Mosquito's pet. It would totally be Mosquito's pet.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, he's probably like his his keeper or whatever.
Like the Rancor keeper, right?
Exactly.
Poor Rancor keeper in Return of the Jedi. Sorry, spoiler alert.
I know, if you haven't seen it. What happens to that guy? Danny Phillips says, yeah, where is Swiftwind Mattel? We need him, and Mondo as well. Like,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, the Mondo one is going to be huge, just like
Huge.
Battle Cat and Panther. So it's like, again, with the space too, it's like they're beautiful pieces, but if you're space constrained, then can't do.
Yeah, those will take up a lot of room, but Mattel can absolutely make it for the Origins line. She-Ra has been without her best friend for so long.
Yeah. Oh, Swiftwind, definitely. All right. All right. So this next creature got his own monstrous commercial, and he wreaked havoc on Eternia. So let's check him out.
Now, a raging terror grabs hold of the universe. Monstroid. When Monstroid gets wound up, it grabs, it lurches, it spins, and thrashes. Because just like Horde, it's bad.
I get it. I'll stop it.
Monstroid.
Got it.
New from the Masters of the Universe. You put it together. Action figures sold separately from Mattel. It's a grabber.
There's so many great lines in that. Just like Hordak, it's bad. It's like,
I know. Oh my god, you can't like write that stuff. This is hilarious.
No, and like these, like there were so many great one-liners in that commercial. Like they were just like spitting them out one after the other, and I think that was one of the more like it looked a lot more produced than the other ones.
Yeah, totally. And it's just funny how like all the figures are just like flying all over the place and just like whacking everybody out of the way.
And the music too. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, like I think that's probably the most well put together of all the commercials, I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I know.
But I didn't have this guy. I forget when he came out, but didn't get him for the holidays. And then there was one like epic holiday where I think my parents let me open up every Hanukkah gift on just one night. So it was like Christmas for the Jewish kid, but Monstroid was not in there, but got a whole bunch of other cool stuff.
That is awesome. I unfortunately did not get more than one present. I didn't get like 8 gifts or anything like that. And it usually was like clothes or something lame. Once in a while I'll get
right?
Yeah, I know, right? Socks or whatever. But my parents would take me to Toys R Us to pick out a toy. So I would get one toy for Hanukkah. And that was always fun to do because, at least I got to pick what I wanted and didn't get something lame.
Yes, and Giraffe reminds us that yes, Mega made one where you can torture dorky Prince Adam with it. It's the best. Yes, and that was on display at the PowerCon we were at. So yeah, that one's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a neat one, and it came with the little mini figures of She-Ra and Hordak and Prince Adam, so that's a neat set.
Yes, and Wookiee Sasquatch, I don't think I can ever recall seeing one of these in person either. So, yeah.
I have not. I don't have this one either, but I think it's very cool, and the commercial is so much fun. I think it's one that you don't see a lot of. It's kind of a lesser known, creature.
Yeah, but like watching the commercial, I love seeing it in action because like as a kid, that's where you get the idea of play. It's like, yes, you can use your imagination, but like I use the cartoons to reenact stuff and also commercials too. So it's like
and they were so big on like the battery powered things, right?
Yeah.
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 Especially this next one.
Yes. All right. So yeah, so this next one, and I think this is the last of the commercials. So this is gonna make me sad, but let's introduce this one.
Awesome.
Oops,
Here.
wrong button. All right, here we go.
Spider, Skeletor, and Man-at-Arms figures each sold separately. Batteries not included.
Put me down, you long-legged creep. You wish.
Spider. You put Spider together.
Now, Spider, now we go for He-Man.
Spider from the Masters of the Universe collection. Not for use with some figures, action figures each sold separately. From Mattel.
It's these commercials are so funny. It's like they either tell you got to put it together or your parents have to put it together. It doesn't come with batteries, so they make you go buy batteries for it. It's like, come on.
This one is great, and I think this one was it Jay that was talking about this one playing her with it as a kid, and how all the legs would be like super loud, and like you play with it like 6 o'clock in the morning, and especially if you're on like a hard surface floor, you got like 6 legs, like like clickety clacketing all over the living room, drive your parents nuts.
But yeah, I mean, even I'm sure that they can quiet it down, but like, would you want this quieted down? Like, if they really want to bring that nostalgia back, make it as loud as the original.
Yeah, I know. That's part of the fun. Like all of these, like we talked about last week, the vehicles made so much noise, like the attack track, and also this Spider is like super loud because it's got like all the mechanical noises that it's making. So that's part of the fun.
Yes. Yeah, it is a
and the dragon walker too, because it's got the little little that like goes around on that track. So
yeah, Webstore should be writing it. Yeah, it's like he should be commanding the spiders, right?
Webstore should be on the box, and Webstore should be writing this. But the artwork on this one's absolutely fabulous. I really love it.
It is.
And again, it's a really classic line, and they love to put the battle armor characters on the boxes, which I think look incredible. So.
Totally will. Yeah, Bill says they can still hear the sound of Spider. Yeah, I guess if you had this, it would probably be etched into your memory.
Yeah. And do you own a Spider?
I don't. Yeah, I don't own most of the creatures on here except for the usual suspects of like Battle Cat, Panther, Screech, Zoar. Stuff like that. I guess. Do you count the land shark as a creature? I mean, it's kind of part shark and part machine. I don't know.
No, I just count that as a vehicle because they're right in it. It's too much like mechanical vehicle than it is creature. So I count that as a.
These are always fun, and I think. If Mattel is going the route that they're doing with, hopefully they could bring back the made to order stuff, and they wouldn't get left with thousands of hundreds of thousands of Spiders if people don't want them. Just make it to order and put it out.
Yeah, that would be awesome, and this would be really great on Mattel Creations because you can have some totally epic artwork on the box. And you can include the battery powered feature on it because it's a more specialized retail space for it to be in. And if it's made to order, I think that would be the perfect spot for it. So this one is a huge candidate for going on Mattel Creations and being part of that line.
Yes, Wookiee Sasquatch. I can hear Spider now. I just turned it on and made it walk across the room. Oh, okay, all right. So you have this one. Okay,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, this one's really cool.
Brian 460. It's like the sound of parents losing their minds and throwing them in the garbage as the kid. Oh, I don't know what happened to the Spider. Did you lose it?
I know, right? Oops. It's like they made these the most annoying sound they possibly could just to drive parents crazy. And then
and it's like also that like the people at Mattel like back in the 80s, it's like who comes up with this stuff? It's like let's make a huge walking battery powered loud spider and call it Spider because creativity. Why not?
They're just like the weirder the better, like just whatever kind of bugs, creatures, all sorts of strange stuff, and let's throw some technology in there and like call it a toy, and there you
Right.
go. But they're beloved, and it's incredible how this has become like a lexicon in our
Yes.
pop culture and part of toy history. So who knew?
Yeah, and yeah, definitely agree with this one. It's
Yeah.
mechanic. I'm so sorry, I'm butchering your name, but yes, it's crazy minds of designers, and that's why they pay them the big bucks to make these things up, because I would not be this creative.
No, that I mean, this is a really neat one. Like, so the whole Mattel team, I gotta give it up to them. In the 80s, they just were so creative to come up with all these creatures and characters and all these things just out of the blue. The whole line, as a matter of fact, and the whole way it was created, it's so incredible. And I always love watching like all the history videos of this. The Powers of Grayskull documentary is a great one.
That is great.
That one out.
Greg, this is a great. I honestly, I did not put this 2 and 2 together. The spider has 6 legs. Like,
Yeah.
They don't give Web Store enough eyes. They give an actual spider 6 legs. Like, what were they thinking, right?
Well, budget cuts.
Yes. Yeah. Towards the end of the line, they're like, all right, we got to cut. We don't want to cut the whole thing, so we'll just cut 2 legs off. Oh, wait, it can be an unlocked tier, right? You can get 2 extra legs for Spider.
Exactly. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Right. And speaking of which, if you haven't seen the live stream that we had with Mega J, we were talking about the Eternia's Choice next crowdfund, and we did put a poll on our website that's attached to this article. It's a fantastic article that the toy sorceress penned herself, which is amazing. But man, this poll has, I think, over 300 people now, and like 103 people, so like a third, 34% wants Eterno's Palace as the next crowdfund, which is really cool.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I can't believe like how that thing totally took off. I mean, it's big enough, and it's kind of like the perfect piece for this crowdfund project, because you can see it's a nice, huge play set. It's a world building, environment, and you can see that they can include a lot of neat like unlock tiers, accessories, and figures with it. So I think it would be the perfect set for a crowdfund project.
Oh, it totally would. Like if they made this like to this scale and it looked similar to this, I would totally get this, and it would totally
absolutely
be amazing.
That would be awesome. You probably have to add on to your house, but
yeah, I know, right? I know. I'll basically have to break down this wall and push everything out that way. So maybe that'll come someday. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, we never know. But then there was actually some really interesting, just covering off on just a couple of the news things that happened before we wrap up. Lady Slither is going up for pre-order on the 12th, and we did get some information about some of the character teases that were that this card art. It hasn't been released yet, but David over at adultcollector.org was saying that they're teasing Reptilax again, the High Priest Pythonus again, and Stretchneck, who was teased once already. Vipor has never been teased, but it's going to be really cool to see all these things.
Okay, but we got kind of like a similar one, I think, on the Mossman package, but it wasn't Vipor. But
no, it was it was a brand new character that they are making, and both Axel and Roy responded. I think one responded to me and one responded to their own Instagram and said I think Axel responded to me, said that it's a new character, but Mattel is trying to come up with a name, and so he couldn't disclose the name, but not Vipor. So.
Yeah, not Vipor, but any of these would be incredible new figures. Those look like so much fun. That's really exciting that they're coming up with these new characters to the line, and I can't wait to see that card back art, which should drop somewhere between now and next Tuesday. So as soon as it does, we will show it to you guys, and I'm sure we'll get some images of the actual Lady Slither figure as well. And if you didn't notice, we're going to have the fan vote on the 5th, and Lady Slither's going up for pre-order on the 12th, which are both Tuesdays. So
Ooh.
looks like we're back to MOTU's days.
You're right. It's like
Right.
unofficial Mo Tuesday, right?
Unofficial MOTU's days. 2 Tuesdays in a row.
Yeah. And I agree with you, Funtime. We need more pop. Is that Gem as your avatar? Like, just
Oh, yeah.
please say yes or no. I'm like,
It is
that's
Gem.
I actually used to watch Gem, so
So did
that was
I.
a fun cartoon.
That's awesome. Okay, Sasquatch says, I want them all. So do I.
Yeah, if they, I mean, they have. So I think the one that they have not, there are two that they have not teased is Quick Flick and Goldenrod. And Goldenrod's such a weird character. He's a Snake Men robot.
It's the Snake Man version of C-3PO, basically.
Oh, you're right.
Because they used to call him Goldenrod as like a joke, right? Like, move over, Goldenrod.
Right. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. But yeah, it would be awesome to get all of these Snake Men that Axel has illustrated. And yeah, I mean, we've knocked off Fangor and Lady Slither so far in the Snake Trooper. So that would be neat if they can just knock down this whole list, right? I
know. And I just got Fangor a couple days ago. I haven't had time to open him, but I would love to. Yeah.
Yes, and I actually just sent Fangor off to Todd's Love Toys because he missed out on his Fangor. And so
that's
I
awesome.
was like, I got your back. Awesome. Todd Love Toys, great supporter of the channel, crew member. I was like, got your back. You got one coming.
That is really cool. And all of these Snake Men are really cool. I really like Quick Flick too. He's like a really neat looking character.
Yeah, it's like a Snake Man archer kind of.
Yeah, he's
like
neat.
Bo, but a snake.
It's like kind of like Green Arrow turned into like a Snake Man or something like that. Right. I'm mixing DC and MOTU here.
Yes.
Superpowers and MOTU.
Yes. And then the last thing that we are going to cover off on, or unless you have anything else, the Toy Sorceress, is that we finally created a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles shop page. And so
that's awesome.
The Toy Sorceress has been like a mad woman trying to dig up all of these listings anywhere she can. And so we finally just pulled them all together, and we are introducing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to the website.
That's awesome. Hey, Michael, since you're there, why don't you go ahead and show everybody where to get to all our shop pages. If you go to the corner where it says shop, we have a variety of, go to the landing page there.
Okay.
And we've got all these awesome shop pages for MOTU, G.I. Joe, Turtles, Wrestling, Thundercats, you name it, DC,
Star Wars.
And Star Wars, the retro shop, or the shop for Star Wars is absolutely complete. Michael spent so much time cataloging every single line of modern Star Wars figures that you can think of are on there. And they're all organized, they're all in order, and there's links for everything. And we also have Indiana Jones. And what do you know? The merch pages.
And our merch
shop. So if you click into any of those, and there's sub merch pages or sub shop pages for all these different toy lines. The great thing about this is we try and organize it all for you. So you don't have to go searching for links or searching for figures where they're available. They're all organized and they're great. And then you can click on the different retailers to see who has it in stock or who has it in stock cheaper. So great tool for you all. And it also does help the channel. So if you are looking for any of these toys, make sure to try and use our shop pages because we've got everything on there for you. And whenever we come up with our secret links, for things that have not come out yet, they're all going to be on these shop pages. So this is the easiest place to find them all.
Yes. It's so funny because I would do this just in my downtime, just like searching for stuff. And it's like, might as well just put everything together and just make it easier for everybody. Right.
Well, that's how that started because we kept finding all of these links and we're like, we can't keep track of them all. And they were just kind of in all these separate articles. And we're like, what's a great way to get these organized and get the information to all of you collectors and make it easy for you and fun to shop. So there you go.
There you go. And yes, Danny, yes, Vipor is the homage to the Snake Tower from the Eternia playset. So that would be amazing to see in Origins. Like they should like, I'm going to say this, like, why haven't we got any Snake Men in Masterverse? I'm just going to say it.
I don't know. That's a really good question. Masterverse has a long way to grow. I think there's so many characters that they haven't gotten to yet in the
That's true.
Masterverse line that they could do that would be so incredible. Because I feel like that line's a little bit more behind. Obviously, it came out much later than Origins did, and there's just like, again, such a long runway of characters that they can delve into in Masterverse, and like give us some more pop figures.
Yes. Yeah, like any would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we did get a couple for Masterverse so far. We got Shira, we got Frosta. We technically got Hordak, if you call it that, because he was blue version, Filmation Hordak. Yeah. And there's some more to come, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, but yes, thank you for the comment, Hega. Yeah, we pour our heart and soul into the website. Yes, and we do have day jobs, and so we do all of this for fun for us and for you. So
yeah, this is all after hours, weekends, nights. I got to tell you, personally, spent like 2 months putting together the vintage shop page for the GI Joe figures.
That was a long, yeah.
All of them, the ones we could not photograph, I had to.
So for those who don't know, like I vintage GI Joes I've had for a very long time, and I basically got all of my collection collected, which was basically most of them are complete from 82 to 86, and then I have some of them from the later years. I put them all in a box, shipped them down south to the toy sorceress, and she photographed them all.
And I did a prayer.
I know, right?
And I said, Michael, you really should do your entire vintage GI Joe collection through the mail. I'm like, I hope and I pray that they get here in one piece, and they did.
Yeah,
they arrived.
They did,
and I was.
And they made it back too.
They did. I was very ginger with them, very gentle. Photographed all of your figures, and then carefully packed them all up, and then just said another prayer, and they made it back to you. But they are all on our vintage GI Joe shop, as well as every single vehicle and playset, and they're all cataloged by year. And it's the first 10 waves. So we did, I think, 10 or 11 years worth, which were a lot of fun. And I did remaster, I guess if you want to call it that, all the images for the vintage vehicles and playsets, because I wanted to clean them up so they look really nice, because we had to source a lot of those because we don't own a lot of the box sets. But I did create a really cool resource for you guys in case you just want as a checklist, as a visual library, as a fun reference to take a look at the great box art that all of those incredible vehicles and playsets had. But they're like nicely cleaned up on that vintage GI Joe shop page. Just check it out for fun if you're just really interested in vintage ordering GI Joes, because those were a blast to take care of. Some of them I had to rebuild parts of the boxes because there were like tears in them or holes in the box or huge labels blocking things. So I actually photoshopped it all out and like cleaned up a lot of stuff. So it was a lot of fun. It was kind of like creating this visual history that I'm quite proud of. I think they turned out great.
Yeah, you did amazing on those boxes and also the photography too. So it's kind of cool to see, like, oh my gosh, it's like it's my collection on here. It's so cool.
I know, that's like mostly, there's a few of my figures sprinkled in there, but Michael, that's mostly your collection. And then we were debating, do we photograph these with like accessories or not? And we decided not to, just to keep them clean and make it easier to look through them all. And
I didn't want busted thumb. So, oh my gosh, Silver K is popping on as we are wrapping up.
That's awesome. Hi, Silver K. I filled in for you to tell everyone to smack that like. And I don't know why I have to make that gesture when I say it, but I just do.
Yes, and we were talking about size,
you missed it.
The two carrying cases. So yes, size and girth matters. So,
and you also said the HasLab sail barge, which was 3 feet long.
That was very long.
Yes,
yep,
it was very long. 3 feet. You need a lot of space for that. There you go. Smack that.
Never too late. Never too late to say it.
Yes.
But man, this has been cool. These are some of my favorite streams when we get to go back and just share like MOTU history with everybody, and we have no idea what's coming out in the future, but it's always fun to dream and talk about this stuff with everyone. Oh yeah.
We also talked about goldenrod. Yes, we did.
Yes, and
But
it
yeah,
is
it's been a
after.
blast. And Michael, I think that was incredible that you dug up all of those vintage commercials because you couldn't see our faces while it was playing because it took up the full screen. But like, you and I were just having a blast, like
It
watching
was
those in
fun.
the background.
It was fun. I should have thought of that for like the other streams, but it was funny
I
because I
know
was like, I don't know what made me think of that, but I just
that was
did.
genius.
Oh yeah, I wanted to before I forget,
Mhm.
the Battle Ram blog actually catalogs, I think he has 55 of those commercials on his YouTube channel. So
Oh, nice.
Battle Ram blog is an insane resource for MOTU. Everybody knows
Mhm.
him. battleramblog.com, and then also his YouTube page. So you can see um, all the commercials that we showed today, plus more.
Mhm.
So you
That's
can
awesome.
geek out on 80s commercials.
It's so much fun. I could just watch those for like hours and just let them play.
Yes.
That's great.
Well, awesome.
Mhm.
I'm sure what is it? It's after midnight for the East Coasters. I'm an old
Mhm.
man and need to go to bed. But it's been
Absolutely.
amazing hanging out with everyone and talking about this stuff, especially with you, the toy sorceress.
Oh, it's been so much fun talking to you and the chat, everybody out there,
Yes.
everybody in the chat, and all our crew members. It's been a blast talking about this, and I'll be on again tomorrow on another
Yes.
channel, GDL. So it'll be a lot of fun. So I hope to see you guys all there too, hanging out with Jay, and we're going to be talking superpowers tomorrow. So
That's so
that'll be great.
cool. I'm definitely going to be in the chat for that one.
Awesome.
Wish you good luck. And just, I mean, how cool is that to one, to be on Geek Dead Life, and two,
Yeah,
to talk about your favorite superpower stuff. So,
I
and
absolutely love
what
superpowers.
time did they go live again?
6 p.m. Pacific, 9
All
p.m.
right.
Eastern. Be sure to tune in for that because it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, this has been a blast. And then we will see you guys probably maybe on Tuesday to talk about the
Oh,
crowdfund vote.
yes.
If we're feeling frisky, we're gonna log in if we're not too exhausted from our day job.
Yeah.
Maybe you might see us on Tuesday night, and we'll talk about what happened with the fan
Yeah.
vote.
That would be awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Well, have a great night, everyone. Hopefully, everyone has a long weekend. So has Monday off, which would be nice. I do. So
Happy Labor Day.
get some R&R, get a nice barbecue going, do whatever you
Yep.
want for Labor Day.
I know
All
what I'll
good.
be doing. I'm gonna be packing the whole rest of the
Oh
weekend.
yeah. Yes, you will. But
Yes, I
um,
will.
love the community and love you
Mhm.
all. And we will see you maybe soon,
Maybe on
sometime
Tuesday.
midweek.
Yeah. So
All
happy
right.
Labor Day, everybody. Rest up. Have a great weekend. Eat some hot dogs and burgers, and just have a fun time. And we'll see you next time on
All
Toy
right.
Habits
Bye,
Day.
y'all.
Bye.